It's almost second nature now, isn't it? Scrolling, tapping, posting. Social media has become so deeply intertwined with our daily lives. I mean, far beyond just sharing a photo or a quick update.
Yeah.
But have you ever paused to consider its really profound and sometimes surprising impact on how we engage with and maybe even integrate different cultures?
That's a huge question.
It is. And that's precisely what we're diving into today. Our focus for this deep dive is this really intricate, evolving relationship between social media and cultural integration.
Okay.
You, our listener, have provided some truly fascinating sources that allow us to unpack this complex topic.
Right.
So our mission to basically extract the most important nuggets of knowledge from these materials, giving you a, comprehensive but still concise understanding of this crucial subject.
Indeed. And the thing is, social media's inherent ability to just, leap across geographical boundaries, that naturally ushers in some pretty significant cultural shifts. And while it clearly plays a pivotal role in fostering cultural interaction, our sources are quick to highlight that it also introduces a whole new set of challenges we really need to navigate.
Okay, so this brings us to a central puzzle then. Does social media, when you look at the whole picture, have a predominantly positive or maybe negative impact on cultural integration?
Okay, let's unpack this and see what your sources reveal.
Let's do it.
Before we delve too deep, maybe we should quickly align on what we mean by our key terms.
Good idea.
While most of us instinctively know what social media is, your sources offer a pretty concise definition. It refers to digital platforms that enable and promote social interaction, essentially leveraging web-based tech to transform what was once, one-way communication into this vibrant, interactive exchange.
Yeah, it's a two-way street now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Think about platforms you use every day, like Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, or even collaborative sites like Wikipedia.
And our sources point out that experts like Van Dyke characterize these platforms as user-centered, fostering social bonds.
Right.
While Shirky emphasizes their role in enhancing our capacity for sharing, collaborating, taking collective action, all these factors that deeply influence and shape our identities.
And it's all built on what's often called Web 2.0 principles, right? That
Yes.
interactivity, users creating content, not just consuming it.
Exactly. That user-generated aspect is key.
So building on that, when we talk about cultural integration, how do the sources define that? Well, they define it broadly as a form of unifying elements with different characters.
Unifying elements.
Yeah, it's essentially the process of assimilation.
Right.
Or, maybe better, blending distinct things into a new unified whole.
Right.
In sociology, it's actually considered this enduring social challenge. How do diverse elements within a society maintain unity? Your sources touch on two major ideas here. One, this concept of together values, which kind of aligns with functionalism, the idea that shared norms create cohesion. And two, interdependence, following the theory of division of labor, suggesting our reliance on each other also fosters unity.
Makes sense.
Though it's worth noting, these concepts sometimes don't fully account for societal conflicts. Yeah.
Ah, okay. Good point.
And from an anthropological perspective, cultural integration often implies cultural change, like the unification of several different cultures into one.
Right.
This can manifest as acculturation, where cultures adapt through contact, or even assimilation, where one might be absorbed into another. They're related but distinct processes.
Understanding these definitions feels, absolutely crucial for appreciating social media's complex role in our global society today, especially, as we grapple with multiculturalism and just constant globalization.
Exactly. And as your sources compellingly argue, successful cultural integration directly impacts social stability and ethnic harmony.
Huge stakes.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Social media undeniably presents this kind of unique opportunity for individuals from wildly diverse backgrounds to communicate and share cultural values, beliefs, norms, all in real time.
Yeah.
It doesn't just reflect cultural shifts, it acts as a real-time accelerant. It's like condensing decades of traditional cultural evolution into just a few years. It's both a mirror and a catalyst for change.
Wow. But as we dig deeper, the picture gets, far more nuanced, doesn't it?
It does.
Because these powerful connections also come with significant concerns. Issues like filter bubbles, political polarization, the rapid spread of disinformation, they all circulate through these very same platforms.
Right.
The downsides. This is where that initial optimism sparks some critical questions about whether the overall impact is truly positive or negative.
Definitely.
So let's start with the positive side, the immense potential. One striking benefit, as your sources show, is how social media empowers individuals and groups to not just maintain but also vocally express their cultural identity.
Hmm?
It provides this open, accessible platform for self-expression through, posts, photos, videos, all sorts of content, allowing cultures to genuinely present themselves to the world.
And we see powerful, concrete examples of this. Indigenous communities, ethnic groups, various cultural organizations, they're actively using social media to document their cultural heritage.
How so?
Well, uploading photos, videos, stories about their traditions, unique clothing, rituals. Think about traditional dance groups sharing performances that might otherwise never be seen globally.
Yeah, absolutely.
And minority language communities cleverly use platforms to teach their language to younger generations or, spread literature.
That's fantastic.
This dynamic allows cultural groups to share their heritage with a truly global audience. For you, this means members of the cultural diaspora can stay deeply connected to their roots,
Oh.
sharing stories, traditional food recipes, organizing virtual cultural events that literally bridge continents. Social media also effectively promotes awareness about vital cultural issues, like human rights or endangered heritage, through campaigns and discussions. It's fascinating how communities are actively taking the reins here.
So it's preservation and promotion. Beyond just preserving identity, though, social media has undeniably opened the door to easier and more intensive intercultural interactions. It's overcoming those geographical boundaries in ways we just couldn't have imagined a few decades ago.
It truly removes so many traditional communication barriers. It allows people from different countries, different backgrounds to easily connect and build relationships.
Yeah.
Think about your own feed.
Yeah.
How often do you follow accounts and connect with people from all around the world on platforms like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter?
All the time.
This offers these unique opportunities to understand diverse daily lives and worldviews, like directly from the source.
Mm-hmm.
Your sources also highlight how social media facilitates intercultural exchange through just a myriad of online groups, forums, like think about specific Reddit subforums on cultural topics.
Oh, yeah. Reddit's huge for that.
And in communities,
Yeah.
leading to this incredible sharing of information on everything from food to music, art, traditions. What's truly remarkable here is just the sheer volume of cross-cultural interaction now possible, like on a daily basis.
And it's not just about direct interaction, right? Social media has become a powerful means of disseminating cultural information globally. It's fundamentally changing how information spreads.
Oh, absolutely. It provides instant access to various aspects of culture, from food to fashion, allowing information to spread with just unprecedented speed.
Like that culinary trend example.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Consider the compelling example of culinary trends.
Hmm.
A restaurant or type of cuisine once known only locally can become globally popular practically overnight because of photos and reviews shared online.
Viral food.
Totally. It also serves as this invaluable platform for artists, musicians, fashion designers to promote their work internationally. They reach wider audiences, inspire new cultural trends across borders. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, think about how this dynamic impacts the tourism industry, making destinations popular just through online buzz and shared experiences.
Yes, it's a really good point. Your sources also make an interesting point that social media is increasingly proving to be an effective cultural education tool
Yeah,
because of its instant access and, highly interactive features.
that's right. It's actually remarkable how easily you can now learn a new language
Mm.
or about a traditional dance, maybe just through video lessons you find on Instagram or YouTube.
Sure.
Social media can also present cultural history in incredibly dynamic ways,
Hmm.
using archival images, documentary videos, or even those really detailed Twitter threads to help young people understand their heritage in a way that feels engaging and, well, relevant.
Mm-hmm.
Many educational initiatives can now integrate quizzes or challenges to engage audiences directly. Even nonprofits and educational institutions host webinars and online discussions on specific cultural topics through these platforms, promoting deeper understanding.
It makes you wonder.
Yeah.
I wonder, like you said, how much cultural knowledge you listening might already be picking up from social media without even realizing you were learning.
It's a great question. Passive learning, almost.
Yeah, exactly. But despite all these powerful positives, cultural integration through social media is, well, it's far from a simple process. It presents some really significant challenges.
Totally.
We keep hearing about filter bubbles. What exactly are they, and why are they so problematic for genuine cultural understanding?
Right. Well, the insidious truth of filter bubbles, as your sources reveal, isn't just about what you see, but what you don't see.
Oh.
There where social media users tend to only be exposed to views and information that align with their beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
The algorithms feed you what you already like,
Right.
and this severely limits your ability to understand different cultural viewpoints. It can really fuel cultural polarization, causing groups with different perspectives to become increasingly isolated from each other.
So you end up in an echo chamber.
Precisely. It creates what you could call ignorance by design, making genuine integration this invisible uphill battle. It really hinders efforts towards healthy cultural integration and harmony. It's a critical risk to global understanding.
Wow. And building on that, another major challenge your sources highlight is the potential for cultural distortion. How does that manifest online?
Well, sometimes cultural information is presented inaccurately or overly simplified, maybe just to keep up with viral trends or get quick attention, clicks.
Right, the temptation for sensationalism.
Exactly. This can tragically reinforce cultural stereotypes,
Hmm.
trapping people in a narrow, often misleading view of a culture based on very limited, highly curated information.
Hmm.
It's crucial to realize that social media often showcases only these well-curated slices of life and culture,
Yeah.
which might not represent the more complex, maybe less glamorous cultural realities.
But it's not all bad on that front.
No, and that's important. Your sources also indicate that social media empowers individuals to challenge these very stereotypes. By sharing authentic, detailed, and accurate stories from within their own cultural context, it allows for creating a counter-narrative directly.
So it's not just a one-way street of distortion. There's also this active effort to correct it online.
Correct. There's a push and pull.
Okay. Beyond filter bubbles and distortion, what are some of the other significant hurdles that arise when cultures try to integrate online?
Well, we certainly see critical issues around privacy and security. Users might inadvertently reveal personal or cultural information that could be misused.
Yeah, that's worrying.
Or shared cultural information could be twisted by disinformation, leading to false understandings that are really hard to correct once they spread.
Mm-hmm.
Language barriers are another persistent challenge. Inaccurate or contextless translations can cause significant conflict or confusion.
I can see that happening easily.
Your sources also point out the lack of accessibility and digital literacy in some communities, which can prevent them from using social media effectively for integration purposes at all.
The digital divide.
Exactly. And finally, there's the pervasive risk of governments or influential groups using social media for political or propaganda purposes,
Right.
which can actively disrupt healthy cultural integration efforts and manipulate cultural perceptions on a mass scale. Even things like intellectual property rights become a concern, with cultural works facing risks of misuse or theft online.
Wow, quite a list of challenges. This complexity, this push and pull between connection and fragmentation brings us to digital sociology, a field your sources emphasize.
Yeah.
How does this relatively new branch of study help us make sense of all these influences, both the positive and the negative?
Well, digital sociology offers us this crucial lens to understand that social media isn't just a tool, it's a profound social environment.
Okay.
It fundamentally re-engineers our very notions of identity and community.
Mm-hmm.
It makes cultural integration a challenge of adapting our oldest human instincts to our newest digital realities. It has a much wider scope than just studying technology use. It examines various kinds of influences from the use of digital tools on human sociological aspects.
Like what?
This includes patterns of interaction, relationships between individuals, relationship patterns of social behavior, individual attitudes and actions, understanding of human identity and self-concept, and so on.
So everything, basically.
Pretty much
Yeah.
everything social, yeah. It's the essential framework that helps us truly unpack the complexities of cultural integration in this rapidly evolving digital era.
So what does this all mean for you, listening, and for our increasingly connected world? This deep dive into your sources reveals that cultural integration in the digital era is, well, far more interesting and complicated than we might initially assume.
It really is. Social media undeniably plays a key role in facilitating cultural exchange, understanding, and heritage preservation. That's clear.
Right.
But, as we've seen, it's a profound double-edged sword. It brings significant risk of distortion, polarization, and information insecurity. Therefore, strong media awareness and literacy are essential for navigating this landscape wisely. The importance of responsible use of social media really cannot be understated.
Absolutely. We've seen the immense potential for cultural education, positive exchange, and open dialogue to genuinely enrich our understanding of global culture. it's there.
It is. But to achieve deeper cultural integration and intercultural harmony, we must actively continue working to minimize risks such as filter bubbles, polarization, and cultural conflicts that can arise in the digital world. It requires conscious effort.
Right. And for you, our curious listener, here's maybe a final thought to ponder as we wrap up. Your sources suggest something quite profound. They say that cultural unity is a manifestation of human integration itself, because cultural unity is also dynamic like the integration that occurs within humans.
It's a deep thought.
It is. They mention that balance is never complete, but must always be fought for against the desire for inertia and centrifugal force, like forces pulling things apart.
The struggle for balance.
So, given this constant struggle, how can you, in your everyday interactions on social media, the content you consume, the things you share, what you engage with, how can you actively contribute to fostering that objective centripetal force, that force pulling towards the center?
Towards understanding.
Yeah. How can you actively push towards greater understanding and unity amidst all the digital chaos rather than, allowing for further fragmentation?
Yeah.
Something to think about.